You ever get the feeling that some of your deepest habits, the things that really make you, well, you, are just completely misunderstood by everyone else? We're going to pull back the curtain on a few of those common behaviors that get a really bad rap, and you might be surprised at what's really going on. Let's kick things off with a few questions, see if any of this rings a bell.
Okay, quick gut check. Are you that person? The one who's constantly replaying conversations in your head, picking apart every single word, every tone, trying to figure it all out?
And what about your social battery? You know what I mean. Does it just drain super fast when you're in a big crowd, leaving you desperate for a quiet night alone just to feel like yourself again?
Or hey, maybe you've heard these labels before. Someone telling you you're too demanding, or that you question things way too much. If any of that is hitting close to home, you're definitely going to want to stick around for what's coming next.
Because, society, our friends, even when they mean well, they all seem to tell us that these are problems, things we need to fix, that we should be more outgoing, more chill, just go with the flow.
But here's a totally different idea. What if these aren't flaws? What if they're not bugs in your personal programming, but what if they're actually features?
And that's the big idea we're digging into today. The possibility that these so-called negative habits are really just the side effects of a highly intelligent, deeply processing mind doing what it does best. All right, let's start with a big one, overthinking. We almost always see it as this fast track to anxiety and stress, right? But let's look at it from another angle.
So yeah, the common view is that overthinking just leads to paralysis by analysis. You just get stuck. But what if we reframe that? What if your brain isn't just worrying? What if it's running these incredibly complex simulations, exploring every possibility and trying to predict every outcome? Suddenly, it's not just noise. It's a powerful strategic tool.
Okay, next up, that need to be alone. It gets mislabeled so easily, right? People think you're antisocial, or shy, or withdrawn. But for a lot of really smart people, solitude isn't about running away from others. It's about running towards themselves.
The truth is, this has nothing to do with being awkward. It's about conserving and recharging your mental fuel. I mean, think about it. Deep thought, creativity, real problem solving. That stuff is cognitively expensive. It takes a ton of energy. And solitude, that's the quiet, distraction-free workshop you need to do that heavy lifting and come up with truly original thoughts.
You can almost think of your mental energy like a daily budget, right? It's finite. For a highly active mind, a huge chunk of that budget is automatically reserved for deep thought. That just leaves less in the tank for other things, like small talk or mundane tasks. So it's not a lack of interest, it's just a really strategic allocation of a very precious resource.
And finally, let's talk about two traits that can really get people labeled as difficult: being impatient and that tendency to question absolutely everything. And believe it or not, these two are actually joined at the hip. When you really get down to it, both of these behaviors come from the same place, this powerful, internal drive for things to be logical, efficient, and better. It's not about causing trouble just for the sake of it. So this impatience, it's not the stuck in a long line at the grocery store kind. It's a very specific frustration with inefficiency, when a highly intelligent mind can clearly see a faster, smarter, more logical way to do something. Having to watch a slow, broken, or outdated system in action can be, well, it can be physically painful. It's a burning desire for optimization. And that exact same drive is what fuels the need to question things. It's not about rebelling against authority for fun. It's about a deep, fundamental need for things to make sense. Phrases like, well, because I said so, or that's just how we've always done it, those are just not satisfying answers for a brain that craves logic and solid proof. So when you start to look at all of these habits through this new lens, something amazing happens. They stop looking like weaknesses, and you can start to see how they actually build on each other to become a real strength. I mean, think of these traits as the core features of your own personal operating system. That overthinking, that's your deep analysis engine. That solitude, it's your focused recharge mode. That impatience, that's your built-in drive for efficiency. And all that questioning, that's your quest for logic. See, these aren't bugs. They're your superpower. And really, this is what it all boils down to. The very things that might make you feel a little different, a little out of step with everyone else, those are often the very source of your greatest abilities. Your unique perspective is all wrapped up in these habits. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. When you look at your own life, your own habits, What's one of those supposed flaws that might actually be a sign of your intelligence hard at work? It's a pretty powerful idea, isn't it?